Friendships are uncertain, and the instant one or both parties ignore sustaining efforts, the relationship begins to degrade. Of course, there are positive, beautiful connections that should endure a lifetime, but some friendships should stop because they are harmful or unhealthy. Stay tuned as today we'll walk through the story about the poisoned coffee from a jealous best friend caught on camera. Before we start, we would love it if you'd click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and smash that notification bell for more videos like this one. So how much do you trust your best friend? Do you have any doubts if your best friend envies you or has a grudge against you? This story is about Wayan Mirna Salihin, an Indonesian woman who died in hospital after meeting her friend, Australian resident Jessica Kumala Wongso, in an expensive Jakarta shopping district. Wongso arrived at the shopping mall an hour before Salihin and another buddy, Hani, on January 6, 2016. She arrived at the meeting place, Cafe Olivier, at about 3:30 p.m., an hour before the agreed meeting time, according to surveillance footage. She looked around the cafe before going to a nearby shop, where she bought 3 soaps and placed them in 3 separate gift bags. When she returned to Cafe Olivier, she ordered 3 drinks, 2 cocktails, as well as a Vietnamese iced coffee, which detectives believe she mixed with cyanide. The drinks were served to Wongso's table at 4:24 p.m., when she allegedly placed a straw in Salihin's coffee and moved 3 gift bags in front of the coffee. Salihin and Hani then arrived, and it was between 4:30 and 4:45 that authorities believe Wongso must have lethally laced the drink. A sip of the iced coffee was taken by Salihin, who noticed that the flavor was odd. According to prosecutors, Hani also smelt it and took a short taste before agreeing to it. Salihin collapsed into the sofa and began convulsing and foaming at the mouth a few moments after that. Hani called her name and attempted to wake her up. During this scenario, the prosecutors claimed that Wongso remained deafeningly calm and took her time to react. Salihin was taken to a hospital where she passed away later that same day. According to forensic examinations, the amount of cyanide in the coffee was 298 milligrams, which is capable of killing a woman of Salihin's approximate height and weight. Approximately 3 weeks later, Wongso was arrested and charged with premeditated murder. On the first day of the murder trial, Ardito Modwardi told the court that the case was in fact a murder. Mirna, the victim, advised Wongso that she needed to leave her relationship with her partner, who was frequently abusive and a drug addict. Wongso was outraged because of Mirna's advice. She ended her relationship with the partner, a choice that Modwardi claimed resulted in domestic disputes. Modwardi went on to say that the defendant intended to take Mirna's life to avenge Wongso's pain and envy. Wongso's complicated mental health history was detailed in records handed over to Indonesian authorities by the Australian Federal Police. These included 4 suicide attempts that required hospitalization, threatening behavior towards colleagues, an alcohol-fueled road rage incident, and a violence order taken out against her by her ex-boyfriend. Salihin tied the knot with her fiancé, Arif Samarco, in Bali 2 months before Mirna passed away. Samarco is convinced that Wongso is responsible for the murder. When Mirna wants to meet with Jessica, Samarco said she always invites another friend or me to accompany her. Samarco believed that Mirna was faking. Mirna does not feel comfortable alone with Jessica. Although she tested negative for cyanide in her bile, liver, and urine, some was recovered in her stomach several days after her body had been embalmed. It means that she must have consumed it. Australian forensic toxicologist Michael Robertson and Australian forensic pathologist Beng Beng Ong testified in court that the results showed no evidence of cyanide ingestion. Beng Beng Ong was later deported from Indonesia after having entered the country on a tourist visa. Premeditated murder is punishable by death in Indonesia. Before Wongso's first court appearance, employees from Salihin's father's courier company hung banners asking for execution due to her actions. Jessica Wongso was found guilty in the cyanide coffee case. However, some claimed that she did not receive a fair trial. Earlier that month of October 2016, a panel of 3 judges in Jakarta's Central District Court rendered a decision in one of the most high-profile and contentious criminal cases in the country's legal history. The case draws attention to problems with Indonesia's legal system, which has been heavily criticized. After a 4-month trial, Jessica Kumala Wongso was convicted of premeditated murder and was broadcast live on 2 national television stations. The judges condemned her to 20 years in prison for poisoning her friend Mirna Salihin in a high-end Jakarta cafe in January 2016. They accepted the prosecution's statement that Wongso arrived early after meeting Salihin and Hani's mutual acquaintance at the cafe. She had ordered the drinks and before her friends came, laced Salihin's Vietnamese iced coffee with cyanide. According to the prosecution, she even placed 3 paper shopping bags on the table she was sitting at to conceal her actions from CCTV cameras. Salihin drank the coffee before collapsing and dying before reaching the hospital. Wongso's motivations were jealousy and vengeance, according to the judges. Wongso was envious of Salihin's happy and lovely marriage and sought vengeance after because Salihin told her to end her relationship with her Australian boyfriend. Also, she wasn't invited to Salihin's wedding. From the beginning, Wongso's case was filled with controversy. Indonesia has even asked the Australian Federal Police to assist them in investigating Wongso on charges of intentional murder, even if Indonesia's criminal code permits courts to impose the death penalty for the offense under certain circumstances. Yasona Laoli, Indonesia's Law and Human Rights Minister, reportedly promised that she would not face death. However, the minister cannot provide such a guarantee because prosecutors choose what penalty to pursue and judges can apply any sentence they see fit. They were adding to the issue that there were accusations that senior Indonesian police refused to allow her counsel to accompany her during questioning. They also said that they are violating police regulations and possibly the Code of Criminal Procedure. Police deny forcing her lawyer out of the room, however they admit that they asked him to leave to prevent him from influencing her statement. Wongso was described in court and the media as insane, vicious, and capable of murder. The evidence against her, on the other hand, has always been circumstantial and fairly weak. Even prosecutors looked hesitant to proceed with the trial in her case, requesting the police for additional evidence 4 times. Because there was no clear evidence of her guilt, the trial comprised expert witnesses for both the prosecution and defense opening on Wongso's mental condition and post-mortem testing on Salihin's body. There is only a small number of CCTV footage accessible. When compared to the defense evidence, almost none of the prosecution-led evidence was credible. The prosecution invited many psychologists to examine Wongso's mental state in general and when Salihin fainted. However, none cross-examined Wongso, and their testimony appeared vulgar and uneducated rather than expert. One person, for example, viewed Wongso's reaction to Salihin's collapse as odd because the CCTV tape did not show Wongso attempting to assist Salihin. Another witness stated that it was suspicious that someone would put their bags on a table while the seat next to them was empty. Another questioned Wongso's mental health, citing a police statement provided by her former boss in Australia. She said she heard Wongso say that Wongso knows how to do it if she wants to kill somebody. She said, "Not only can I use a firearm, but I know how much to give." Prosecutors also claimed that Wongso was aware that the cafe had CCTV cameras and where they were positioned, so she used the shopping bags to hide the view of her placing cyanide in Salihin's coffee. According to one analyst, the CCTV showed Jessica making strange gestures when she opened her handbag. She may have placed something on the table. However, none of the video evidence presented during the trial showed her taking anything from her handbag, let alone pulling out cyanide and stirring it into Salihin's drink. In reality, Wongso's lawyer established that she had sent a text message while the bags concealed her hands. It could explain the so-called strange movements. Worse, the prosecution failed to show that Salihin died from poisoning, let alone cyanide. Salihin's coffee was neither tested nor looked at. It was probably dumped out at the cafe after Salihin died. Her intestines were corrupted, and her lips turned black, according to a National Police Hospital expert. Amid a deluge of expert testimony from the defense, the court appears to accept this testimony as the cause of Salihin's death. Toxology tests, performed 70 minutes after her death, indicated no cyanide in her gastric juice, bile, liver, or urine. In her stomach juice several days after death, forensic pathologist Jaya Surya Atmaja said evidence of cyanide was likely from embalming chemicals. Salihin may have died of natural causes, such as a heart attack. An Australian pathologist testified that cyanide would be present in a fatally poisoned person's stomach, bowels, and liver. He emphasized that cyanide poisoning usually occurs 30 minutes after intake, not 2 minutes as claimed by the prosecution. Typical cyanide symptoms include red skin, cyanide odor, and stomach poisoning were absent. Wongso cried during the trial but couldn't create tears and didn't need tissues to wipe her face. Jessica Wongso, however, is qualified for a fair trial whether she poisoned her friend or not. So what can you say about this story? What if you had a friend like this? Would this happen to you? And what would you do? Let us know your thoughts and comments down below. And before the video ends, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one.